This week, the big hitters for 2019, starring bed rockers, skin-tight suits, the new Click intern, and Queen. Well, sort of. ...2019 starts with the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. This is where you come to see all the big new tech, the crazy new ideas, and the occasional polar bear. Anything to get attention, basically, which is Vegas all over. But what does it all mean? What will the coming year look like? What is the important tech that you need to look out for? We're going to try and tell the story of CES 2019 by bringing you 20 bits of tech in 19 minutes. Blimey, that's a lot of stuff in not a lot of time. We better crack on. Quick tip, CES is always a mix of big trends and stuff and nonsense. I'll leave you to work out which is which. So reset the counter, reset the clock, and we'll start with something that's always big here, TVs. The big screen technology here is OLED, and LG Display is the only company making large OLED screens. Now, the tech has several advantages. It can be curved, it can do really black blacks, or it can be transparent. It can also be very thin, and of course it can be 8K, which is all the rage here, with 4 times the resolution of 4K. The simple structure of OLED also means that you can attach these things called exciters to the back of the display. Now, those are really thin things that turn the whole display into a speaker. Now, there are about 5 exciters, I think, on the back of this screen, and I have to say, it really does sound like the audio is coming from the right parts of the picture. And that's basically because it is. And finally this year, we've seen actual practical uses of possibly OLED's coolest feature. It can be bendy. Flexible displays, what will they think of doing with them next? Anyway, good. OLEDs, we're off and running. Let's crack on. Here comes Lara with number 2.
Well, if you've been meaning for a while to get round to having an eye test but haven't quite had time, the solution could be this. This device attaches to a smartphone and you can test your own eyes. Now what you do is you look through one eye at a time. There's a green line and a red line, and you need to get them to move closer together. You just tap this button on top to do it, and there we go. I hope I'm not going to learn anything surprising. Repeat the process on each eye, and from there, if needed, you'll be told your prescription, so you can order glasses online. But you'll probably also want to know what the numbers it comes up with actually mean.
-1 means you have slight nearsightedness.
Okay.
Not too bad, but you might want to go to the eye doctor and just check out your eyes.
Okay, so the job hasn't actually been totally done with this?
No.
Well, at least it's a start, and each time I tested the device, it did come up with consistent results.
A new year, a new me. Let's go.
So around this suit are various sensors that are analysing my motion, and the idea is that they'll be able to tell me if I'm using the correct posture or not when doing various exercises. So if I'm not doing my lunges correctly, they'll give me a really good telling off.
Front leg angle too shallow.
Let's go. Accelerometers, gyroscopes and e-compasses inside the RaceFit suit measure what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, which allows its accompanying app to suitably berate me.
Hip position too high. Arm angle too deep.
You have to wirelessly charge it up, but it's machine washable. Thank goodness.
Well, there's something we can't unsee. Right, number 4, self-driving cars. And we are nowhere near having fully autonomous cars on the road yet, but here's a demo where I can use an app to make a fairly autonomous car reverse out of its parking space and drive to a pre-programmed pickup spot. You have to have driven the route first so it can learn it, but it can deviate from the route enough to avoid hitting things or people. There's loads of self-driving car tech here at CES, but there are other exciting things going on in car too, and Dave Lee is one of them. Here he is.
So Audi thinks it's come up with an idea to keep us more entertained while we're travelling in the back of a car. I'm going to check it out. How are we doing?
All right, enjoy the ride.
I'm ready. This VR system was made in collaboration with Disney, and it monitors data from the car's actual movements. So when I pull away, I really feel it because the car's moving.
What we've created basically is a completely new category of content because it's the first time that it's something that works best in the car.
I'm shooting in the game, I'm looking around. Obviously the movement is determined by where the car is moving. So I don't feel in control of where I'm going, but it does make it feel very physical. But I don't know, something about the combination of virtual reality and whizzing around a racetrack didn't feel too good. Oh. You said it wouldn't make me nauseous, that was a lie. But it's okay, because on the CES show floor I found a different approach. This is an effort by Intel and Warner Brothers to imagine how we might entertain ourselves when cars are self-driving.
Hello, sir.
Wow, here we go.
The monitor's coming up in a very, dramatic fashion.
This is very futuristic.
Yes.
There's also this safety tablet which displays data on what's happening around the car back in the real world.
That was Dave in a car. Right, how are we doing? 5 down, plenty more to go, but we're going to stop counting for a few minutes to bring you some of the big announcements from CES this year.
This place is full of weird and wonderful stuff. Some you may think is slightly over-engineered though. Everybody needs a smart lightsaber, obviously.
Definitely.
You can track your success on a smartphone.
Yeah.
Every year, thousands of companies, big and small, flock here to show off their wares. But usually the big three are notably absent. Google broke the tradition last year though, attending for the first time. And this year, it really went to town. Unveiled here is the Google Assistant's new interpreter mode. OK Google, be my French interpreter. Je parle un petit peu de français.
I speak a little bit of French.
First time.
I will speak to myself.
OK, maybe it doesn't get it every time, but it is pretty slick. Merci beaucoup. Au revoir.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Amazon is showing off its Echo Auto, making Alexa available to most cars. Meanwhile, Apple may not be here, but it is still making some noise.
We're thrilled to share a true first. Samsung customers in over 100 countries will be able to enjoy iTunes movies and TV shows.
This iTunes app tie-up is unique to Samsung, but other manufacturers are also getting something Apple. And that's AirPlay, which will be built into some LG, Sony and Vizio TVs. And as usual, the stands are full of bright TVs. Samsung is showing off a micro LED display which delivers extra high colour definition. The screen is made up of many tiny micro LEDs tightly grouped together which can light up independently. This feature allows for very high contrast and extra bright images, and it is modular, so bits can be added to change its size and make for different viewing experiences. Here is a 200-inch one. Most TVs on show here are 8K, but most of the content we have isn't. And this is where AI comes to the rescue. Manufacturers are building artificial intelligence into TV sets to up-res the content that they receive. And it's all about AI in these halls this year. Beyond voice activation for everything, even your toilet, AI is featuring in many smart devices. And I no longer need to worry how much energy my smart devices are using because I've found a treadmill that will harness the power of my workouts. I might just need to go a little bit faster.
That was Lara, and now time to restart the clock. And it turns out Nick's not the only one who's been to the gym recently. I'm facing up to a very unusual opponent. Truth be known, I'm not a skilled boxer, more into unboxing, if you know what I mean. But although the bot boxer here is successfully dodging most of my jabs, it is letting me land the occasional hit. Its infrared sensors keep track of me, and its reaction times can be set to match the skill of the opponent, along with how tired it gets over time and how many mistakes it makes, to give one a fighting chance.
52.
Now at the moment, for some reason, they've got this set to amateur mode.
63.
But
26.
you can turn the sensitivity all the way up.
47.
At which point they say no human can actually punch fast enough.
44.
So let's do that now. Okay, now it is impossible to hit, even in slow motion. All right, let's get a professional in here.
Step back.
Yeah, shut up. This is Alex Thiel, national middleweight champion and marginally better than me. He's playing the bot boxer in knockout mode, and he's doing all right. Johnny Toko's gym has been here in Vegas for 70 years, and the most famous boxers in the world have sparred here. George Foreman, Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, and maybe Alex will be among those names one day. We've asked him to try out something that's on show at CES for the first time, something that helps to detect a massive problem in boxing and in sport generally: concussion. iSync uses a modified VR headset to track how accurately Alex's eyes can follow moving points.
Same deal. Follow those target positions.
The system can then tell whether there may be an underlying brain injury to be concerned about. Here, the results show that Alex's left brain responds better than his right. Nothing to worry about at the moment, but something which can be worked on. It's in use already by the Golden State Warriors basketball team here in the US, and iSync's creators say the system could also help look for early signs of dementia. Meanwhile, Nick has met a different Alex who's created something to prevent injuries in the first place. Not in boxing, but in cycling.
Today we know the main areas that are impacted during an accident are the head, the thorax and the neck. So this is why we decided to develop Be Safe, the airbag that is able to protect the thorax, the neck and the back spine.
Okay, let's put it to the test.
Ouch. Let's see that in instant replay.
You alright?
Embedded sensors follow the rider's motion, so when the speed or angle doesn't add up, it inflates in 1/10 of a second, cushioning impact.
Now, does this act as a flotation device?
What do you mean?
Health tech is always big at the show, but this year there were a few companies offering medication-free pain relief. Hypno VR is one, with what they describe as medical hypnosis, although the pain I was subjected to testing it was pretty minor. That didn't really hurt, but I'm not sure how much it would have hurt if I didn't have these on. There's no doubt that was relaxing. The idea is that some procedures could possibly be done with local anaesthetic instead of general anaesthetic if people were feeling calm enough. It's hard for me to judge because obviously all I had to do was lie here, nothing was being done to me, apart from somebody pinching my hand. Thanks for that. But hey, I feel relaxed.
How clean is your drinking water? Well, here we've got 6 cups of America's finest filtered water, and if I get the Lichtot Test Drop Pro and move it slowly towards this plastic cup, it gives me a blue light which tells me it's okay to drink. The accompanying app gives me a chance of contamination of 40%. And if I do this to each of the other cups, you can see that that one's clean as well. What it's actually doing is measuring the differences in the electric field for water that's contaminated and not contaminated. Now, what we haven't told it is that this last cup of filtered water has been spat in by the boss. And look, red light. The app says the chance of contamination is 90%. Feels a bit like witchcraft, doesn't it? But it does seem to work. Okay, next up it's Chris Fox, who's been out in the sun. Cheers.
This is no ordinary sun cream spray. My body and the droplets have been electrically charged to give me a flawless coating. Here I am putting on sun cream by hand in front of a UV camera. The sun cream absorbs UV light, so it shows up black here and makes it easy to see if I've missed a bit. Could electrically charged spray offer better protection? So here's how it works. On the spray bottle there are 2 metal pads, and when you squeeze them it puts an electric charge into your body. The droplets it sprays are attracted to your skin. It's a bit like when your hair is attracted to a balloon with static electricity. The company that's made this is called Wagner. They're a German company known for their industrial sprayers, so they're more used to coating car parts. The prototype sprays factor 6 and factor 10 sun cream, so it doesn't look as dark on camera. But when I pulled back my top, I was really surprised. It did give me a smooth coating of sun cream. There are still a few problems to iron out with the prototype. One of them is that after using it, if you touch anyone, you give them quite a nasty static shock. And the second one is you're not really supposed to use it on your face. The company did warn me that those statically charged particles will stick everywhere on your skin. They find their way up your nose, they go into your ears, they find their way into your eyes, even if you've got your eyes closed. Now, it's not just for sun cream. The company also plans to offer things like body oil, though you can appreciate the applications where this might be useful, as with the sun cream, or perhaps with a spray tan, where getting an even coating is absolutely crucial.
Despite the surplus products on show, there has been a lot of talk about sustainability this year, and that includes how we run our smart homes. What I have here is a smart socket. The idea is that you can charge your devices through this, and as soon as they're fully powered, it'll automatically switch itself off. Not only does this make things safer, but it'll also mean that you should use less electricity. The one right here is the European version, so it looks a little bit messy with all of the adapters that we've got attached, but later this year there will be versions released for the rest of the world. Whilst right now the main use for this may be for laptops or for phones, the company hopes that in the future people are going to be using it for electric bikes or cars. Or there's this smart home switch, which once it's set up doesn't need any leads or any recharging, and at the touch of a button it can operate your Sonos or your Philips Hue lighting. The new Emo Click has energy harvesting technology which is claimed to provide enough power by just doing this to make it work. But for those who are more interested in convenience, this infrared charging transmitter is hoping to help. The light signal is transmitted to the Y-Charge receivers that can either be in the form of plug-in chargers or actually embedded in the company's home devices. But whilst this kind of charging may prove less energy efficient, the company does hope that it'll be used as part of an ecosystem which makes it simple to turn this off whenever it's not in use.
Okay, that's sustainability, item 12 of 20, done. Right, let's rattle through some more. Now, if you do come to CES, don't forget to check out Eureka Park. This is where all the new ideas are being formed, including this, a fully customizable keyboard with an electronic ink display behind, which means you can have QWERTY, you can go AZERTY, Chinese, Japanese, whatever you fancy. This is also where you'll find your new companion robot. They're another big thing here this year. This one is on the Japanese external trade stand. Meanwhile, in the French area, you can grab a drink and a snack from the butler bot known as the Fresh Geoffrey of France. That's the Fresh Geoffrey of France.
It's a desktop dishwasher. You don't need to plumb it in. Just fill it up with a gallon of water, hit the button on the remote control, bosh, does the dishes.
The bumpy roof looks cool, but it also disperses the water for a more even clean. Next, take some coloured plasticine, make a model, scan it with the Clone app, and then hit the AR Animate button to bring it to life, and rejoice as your monstrosity hops its way across the floor. That's augmented reality number 16, done.
Pretty cool, eh? Not as cool though as Nick Queck's.
Away from the show floor, I'm going sub-zero to test out a nifty new wearable.
Better crank that up to 11. This is the Emberwave wristband, and it acts like your own personal air conditioning unit, but instead of air, it uses a thermoelectric module that acts like a heater. It sends you regular pulses of heat to apparently change your body temperature of up to 5 degrees. I certainly need it in this Baltic environment.
Okay, so it's not really suitable for such harsh conditions. It's intended more for the sudden temperature changes during the morning commute, or to improve your individual temperature in communal areas. Heaven forbid you open a window or put on more clobber.
Maybe warming up my wrist, but my toes are absolutely freezing.
Time to get a little warmer, methinks.
Getting a bit too hot now.
Oh, that's better.
The show floor can get really exhausting. I think I need to lie down. Oh. Wow, that feels a bit strange. There's a motor inside moving it from side to side. And actually, this was the creation of somebody who'd been on a cruise and enjoyed the rocking movement so much they wanted to recreate it. And then hopefully you'll sleep like a baby. Weird. It feels awkward when I close my eyes. It feels better to have my eyes open, which is no use whatsoever for sleeping. Maybe the bigger problem right now is that it's really a bit noisy to sleep round here, but luckily I've got these, some active noise cancellation earbuds, which are specifically for sleeping. So, you put them in like this. The microphone in them will pick up the sound around you and will create some anti-noise, so it feels like you can't hear anything in them as it drowns out the other sound. Now, of course, I can still hear there's something going on here because this is a very loud environment. Obviously, nobody's going to sleep in a noise like this. It's definitely quieter. The sound feels a lot flatter. But the question is, can you get used to sleeping with these in your ears, and are they going to stay in? Let's have a little fidget around and see.
And a huge round of applause for Lara with number 19. The big clappers here make it 20. We've done it, and that's worth a big hand too. These things are from Japan. Enough said. And that is CES 2019 all wrapped up. 20 things in 19 minutes. These are the only things that you need to bother about in the next year. Unless I'm wrong, in which case we'll see you next week.